Hey guys, I hear a lot of people, well, I don't hear them. I read a lot of people commenting about homemade targets for archery, and thought you guys might be interested in this one that I've made. Now, it doesn't look like much at first glance, but this is it here. This here, all of this itself, as one whole unit, is the target. Now, there's going to be a lot of people that are going to turn around and say, what you're doing, that's not safe, that's, irresponsible. But when you have a look at the wall that I've got behind it, there's no arrows going to go through there. That and the fact that I also put up a sheet of padding behind it as well, just in case. So, essentially, all it is a bag that's full of old shopping bags, just old plastic shopping bags. And what I've done, I've also, just at the back here, you'll see that shape there, just empty Coke bottles. And all I've done is just flatten them out as much as I could. And then there's probably about 4 bottles in there. There's more under there as well. Yeah, and then all I do is I've put them in there flat, and this has probably got probably close to about 100 garbage bags in it, just plastic cheap shopping bags. And then all I've done is I've then put the empty bottles in, so there's 2 empty ones here, and then there's these 2 here at the back. And what I've done is I've zipped the bag up as much as I could, and then these 2 I've then opened. Now what that's done is let a little bit of air into these 2 back bottles, which has then helped to compress these ones even further. So if you actually look, it's actually quite hard to push into the bag. Then what I've done on the front, I've just got a cardboard target. Now it's about an inch and a half thick. Now, it's not exactly the widest target, and I wouldn't suggest that this would be the best target for somebody who's just starting out in archery, because obviously, it's not a very big target. Although I am shooting only over probably 15 meters, so it's not a very long target. It's not a very long range, I should say, but it's enough to, just come down once a day and, put 1 or 2 arrows into the target. And then all I've done, because when I first did this, all I had was just the bag, none of the cardboard. I didn't have the strapping here. It was just the bag, and that was enough. That's all you need. I was only getting about 3 or 4 inches of penetration with just the bag. However, what I found was that when I was shooting it, the whole target was rocking right back up and then back down again, like that. So I chucked a weight on top, and I've just chucked that on the front so that I could have... I thought I'd give this a try, just to see if this would maybe slow down the penetration a bit. It hasn't done anything. A lot of people recommend using cardboard, like obviously more layers than this, but I've found that this doesn't compress as well as what the garbage bags do. The arrows seem to go straight through this and out the other side, and I can feel the other side where the arrows have gone straight through. Not a problem. It's not until they hit the bags. And the reason why I think that the garbage bags work so well is that as the arrow is passing in, rather than just tearing a hole through it and breaking the bags seem to catch on the tip of the arrow, and as more and more layers of the plastic catch, it sends the force back out through the rest of the bag, as opposed to just you exerting the force to split through like it does on, say, for this. So it's nice and all well and good to have, something like this. I mean, even I've heard people talking about using this stuff, the expansion foam. But if you actually have a look at it, and it seems like a good idea at first because it's a very dense material. It really is very dense. When you look at it and when you try to push on it, it feels very dense and, you know, springy at the same time. But to shoot at it, it will go straight through this and out the other side, I can guarantee it. And you can see here, I actually tried this. This was my second target that I tried after trying the plastic bags. Because I thought that this, if this worked to stop the arrows, then surely the expansion foam would do exactly the same job, if not a better job. But it didn't. And I think that's because it's not allowing the force being exerted by the arrow into the material to be spread evenly throughout the target, whereas the plastic bags, because they're catching the arrow and they're moving with the arrow, they're not being broken, the layers aren't being broken as they travel through, therefore it's allowing that force to spread throughout the whole target, not just in through the target, if that makes sense. So give it a go. As I said, I don't recommend this sort of thing for everyone because, I mean, you've got to be confident in the fact that you know your arrows aren't going to go anywhere. Always, you know, shoot responsibly. I'm shooting at this target, as I said, because I know I've got a dirty, great big cinder brick wall behind there. Behind that door there's another cinder brick wall behind that. If an arrow hits that door's made out of solid wood, it's not going to go through there. It might chip a bit of the paint off, but I'm not real concerned about that. So if you have a wall like this, and this is in a 2-story house, this is in the underside of my house, so I'm confident that I can lock this whole area off. No one can walk in or out through the target area when I've locked it. So I feel very confident shooting under here. It's probably just as safe as a normal indoor range. So yeah, I think it's a good little idea for a target, for an indoor target, and even a good idea for if you're going out on a hunt and you want to make a target that you can make have a few practice shots with. This is a very, very good cheap alternative. I mean, these bags, this is just a cooler bag from Woolworths or something like that. I think it was Woolworths, and it cost me maybe $10. And the garbage bags, I mean, fair enough, I had a cupboard full of them that, you know, we'd been saving up for rubbish, you know, and stuff like that. You don't have to use garbage bags. I mean, you could use old clothing, or, you know, even paper, I guess, might do it. I'm not willing to use paper, though. I just don't think that would have the same effect. But, yeah, leave a comment, let me know what you think. If you've got any ideas as to how I could improve the target. Bear in mind that the whole concept of this target is to try to produce something that is very, very cheap. By very, very cheap, I'm talking maybe less than $20. Maybe a little bit more than that. Not much more. I definitely don't want to go anything above, say, $40. So a very, very cheap target that's going to be safe to use, that can be easily replaced. Because the good thing is, if I find that the arrows are going too deep into here, then I know that the plastic bags are obviously wearing out and that I need to replace them. Or maybe the bag is starting to fail, in which case then I'll compact it in even further and compress those bags even more. So yeah, let me know what you think, and please subscribe. Actually, one more thing that I will do before I do disappear. What I'll do is I'll just punch a few rounds into it, just so you can see the penetration that I'm getting on it. shooting a bit higher today. Okay, so let me just grab one of these arrows out, let's see if I can grab it out. So there's a fair amount of penetration. I mean, we're talking maybe 9-10 inches of penetration. So there's a fair amount. I mean, not quite going halfway through. We're just going just over the halfway mark in through the target. So there's a fair amount of penetration there, but it's fairly easy to pull out. You know, it's not doing any damage to the tips. Let's see if I can get that in focus. It's not going to let me focus on it. But yeah, there's no damage to the tip. There's like tiny little... I don't know if you can see that in this light, but there's like tiny little bit of specks of plastic from the bags themselves. So yes, they do. Obviously, you are damaging the bags inside, but I mean, for what it is and for how much it cost me to make it, I'm pretty happy with that. I mean, if I wanted it to stop quicker, then I would just compress it even further, put more bags in there. But I'm happy with that. I don't mind that my targets land a little bit deep inside it. So yeah, I'll get this last one out. So yeah, let me know what you think. I think it's not too bad a design myself. If there's any suggestions as to what I could do to improve it, please feel free to leave a comment below. Always remember to shoot responsibly.